Hi Leo, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your September 1st to the 15th, 2021 reading for you. This reading will be focusing on increasing your intuitive ability. If you're interested in this, stay tuned. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if it resonates with you. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will be listed and linked in the description box below. Now, before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. Let's let the bowls sing as we see what the tarot has to say. Leo, September 1st to the 15th, 2021 Leo, increasing intuitive abilities. Angels and spirit guides show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels, these three, and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Fantastic. This one too. Okay. At the bottom is our rooted self. The left-hand side is our inner self. The middle, our heart, our emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. Let's see what the cards have to say. We have the Emperor, which is Aries energy coming through. If we have this within our natal chart, it's going to be very much a grounding energy for us. Then we have the Empress. Oh, I love this. And the Lovers. Oh, goodness. Okay. So this is really exciting. Whenever we have the King and Queen, Emperor and Empress from the same deck in a reading, this is a soulmate connection, true love connection, enhanced by the Lovers. There is something here that we are falling in love with. There is something here that's opening up the door, opening up the way forward, guiding us to a place that we hadn't thought we could enter into. And it could be just simply embracing our own intuitive abilities, being able to connect with spirit within us, being able to connect with divinity around us. And it leads us then to the Guardian, which is the star in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck coming through. It's like, I'm guarding this sacred connection. And we have the Six of Earth, the Six of Pentacles, this sense of being able to find balance, to find harmony, for there to be enough for all, but also seeing where things are out of balance, where things are out of harmony, what we need to look at more openly and honestly for ourselves. It leads us then to our emotional self. And we have the Nine of Wands, all right? So we need to really be mindful of listening to everybody else's opinions before we listen to our own. And this can also be, oh, well, I'm just researching. I'm just diving deeper. I just want to learn all the different sides of things. And sometimes that's very beneficial, and it really is. We shouldn't be closed-minded and only hear what we want to hear. But we have to be very mindful that we're not being kind of swept in by this way of thinking, and then swept by that way of thinking, and then, carried on by what other people think is right, and not ever asking ourselves, where do I stand? Because then we have the King of Swords, which is air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, coming through, amplifying the Lovers right here with the Gemini energy. So if you have Gemini energy within your natal chart, that's coming through very powerfully as a rooting force for you. With the King of Swords, it's like, I'm the warrior king. I'm not taking any nonsense. I'm moving forward towards what I love, and I'm embracing what I love within my life. We have the star right here, so there's an enhance of Aquarius energy. If we have this within our natal chart, Aquarius within our natal chart, that's coming through very, very strongly. And I love that it's the pearl here, so we'll get into that in a moment. We have the Nine of Wands. Again, this one more victorious, but we also very much have to be mindful that we're going to have to embrace the stubbornness of the Emperor to be able to withstand what everybody else is saying, what everybody else wants from us, and to say, but this is my life. And this is how I need to walk forward. And this is where I need to stand for me. It brings us to the moon, which is Pisces energy. Again, if we have this within our natal chart, that's going to come through very powerfully in the public arena, just as Aquarius is. And during this time, what we are seeing is that we have to look at the illusion of shadows. We have to look at the illusion of what everybody wants from us and say, but this is where I stand for me right now. Now we're going to see the energy that we need to be mindful of during this time. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Okay. Came out all by itself, the High Priest, which is Taurus energy. But this is going to be very much a sense of traditions. Now, it's not saying that we have to go against traditions or that we have to fight against orthodoxy. If that's not what we want to do and we're perfectly happy with that, we have to stay true to the traditions and to the orthodoxy or to the way of doing things that is right for us. This is not going to be a time where our connection with our intuitive abilities needs to just be completely shaken up. This is a time where we need to say, how do I connect and why do I connect this way? We're going to be very drawn in by people who say it has to be done just like this. We have to look at things just like this. It has to be just like this. And we're going to think, oh wow, they're so sure of themselves and they seem to be doing very well. So why not? Why not embrace the way that they're saying to move forward? And what Spirit is saying is that during this time, we have to have the confidence in ourselves, Leo, to say, but this is me. This is what I desire. This is what I love. This is what I need. And so even though we're going to be very drawn to people who want us to change what is intrinsically important to us, there's going to have to be an embrace of power to say no, to say you don't get to make those demands on my life. Now it moves us to our chakra energy. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. And this is the crown chakra of peace. During this time, we need to visualize ourselves being crowned by peace, being crowned by harmony, love, understanding, and knowing that we are using this understanding, this peace, this harmony to create and better ourselves, to move forward in a positive, intense way. When we look at peace with our crown chakra, to sit in peace, to embrace our hearts of peace, to say there needs to be this calm to me, that's going to be very, very important. And that's going to be the way that we see ourselves opening up to so much more within our world, opening up to so much more of what we want. And we claim the throne. We claim the throne in our sacred masculine capacity and in our sacred feminine capacity. We start to see ourselves creating and cultivating. We start to see ourselves, following the intensity of our voice or following the intensity of our dreams to birth forward what it is that we absolutely desire from our lives. Now, this can be starting a family. This can be giving birth to a creative endeavor that has been inside us for so long that we almost have given up hope on and said, no, I can't do it this way. Maybe this just isn't for me. Maybe I was given this dream, but I was never meant to accomplish it the way that I thought I was going to. And so here, when we're looking at embracing our intuitive abilities, we're looking and embracing and understanding the sacred masculine, sacred feminine part of ourselves, looking at what we deeply love, our soulmate connection, what we are put on this earth for, and saying, this is me, I claim it. And it moves us to the Lovers. Now, it can move us to connecting with a person. Now, this could be an Aries or a Gemini, but this is going to be a person of confidence, but also dexterity of mind. We have the Lovers coming in to say, this is what I love, this is what I desire. There's more than one way to look at anything. And as there's more than one way to look at anything, I start to broaden my horizons. And that's going to be where we can kind of fall into the trap of the Nine of Wands, especially emotionally, where we want everything to be fair and good. And we want, to be the best person that we can possibly be and not be, exclusatory to anybody. But we have to also know our limits. We have to know what's right for our energy vibration and what's just bringing us down, what we can embrace and what we should step away from. And so when we're embracing the Lovers here, what we need to ask ourselves is, am I in love with my life? Am I in love with the way I'm moving forward? Or am I in love with the dream that I am building? Because sometimes we're not in love with what we're doing, but we have to walk through the muck and the mire to get to the place that we want to be. It's kind of like we have to put down the manure in order to get the garden that we want. And so this moves us to the Six of Earth. This moves us to this place of finding balance and of also saying, this doesn't balance me. This doesn't give me harmony. This isn't right for me. These people are taking too much, or this is giving too much, or, this is too much in one extreme or another. I need to find my harmony, my balance, my understanding, and my development. I need to move forward in caring and in compassion. And it brings us then to the Guardian. And the Guardian, again, is the star in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. And so what the Guardian is doing is this is a time where we are transformed into the person that has the help around us, that has the connection with the earth, that has this sense of the animals coming towards us, the sense of nature guiding us forward in a productive, powerful way, but also knowing that we are a guardian of that which is sacred. So when we connect to our intuitive power, when we are connecting openly and honestly with what we love and want and desire from our lives, if we use our intuitive power to bring betterment to the world, we are a guardian of that sacred connection. We are a guardian of the light and love that the divinity can bring, but also we're a guardian of the sacred words that people don't often listen to. This isn't instantaneous, instant gratification sort of thing. This is very much I am guarding that which is true, sacred, and powerful for my heart. I am moving me forward in a way that opens up the door, that, brings me to a different place, a different plane, a different energy vibration than everybody else. So many people, they vibrate on this baseline energy vibrational place. And that's draining. That's overwhelming. That's always kind of like in fight or flight mode. And it's being very much focused on our base needs. The Guardian is raising our energy vibration and saying there's more out here than I could ever have imagined. And there is something more sacred to the space that I'm inhabiting than I have ever seen before. And the animals around us, it's kind of like animals and children, they know, they connect, they see, they understand. And it brings us to the Nine of Wands. It brings us to this place of saying there's power here. There's power when I stand tall and am not knocked down by everybody else's words. There's power when I look at myself with honesty, with love and compassion and say, look at what I've been through. Look at what I've endured. Look at the words, the curses thrown at me, because that's what curses are. They are negative words that weasel their way into our heads and take root there. They make us doubt ourselves. These could be from our parents, from our caregivers. These could be from lovers, from friends. It does not matter where the poison started. It matters that the poison goes in. And it's kind of like if you're allergic to something, right? You get a little bit of a warning, like you might not feel very good after you eat it, then you'll get a bigger warning, and sometimes it builds up. Sometimes you just get smacked in the face with it, but sometimes it builds up. And that's what we're seeing here. It's kind of like, okay, we need to build up. We've had this build up of what is poisonous to us. We need to step away from it. And we need to claim our path forward and what we desire, not what everybody else wants from us. Because their path is not our path. It's kind of like if you're allergic to peanuts. You're not going to eat peanuts when somebody else, that might be their favorite food. So this brings us to this place of the King of Swords. And the King of Swords does not play around. The King of Swords is saying, this is what I want. This is what I desire. I am the warrior king. This is the king with the most sacred masculine energy in him. Saying, I'm cutting through doubts and fears. I'm going after what I desire. I know where it is that I stand. I know what it is that I fought for and what it is that I will still fight for. This is having confidence of voice, even if inside we're kind of wobbling, This is having confidence of purpose, even if others have laughed. Even if we might have laughed at ourselves and said, what makes me think that I can do this? It brings us then to the public arena of the star. And what I love is that they have the oyster there that has made the pearl. Because how pearls are made is that a little piece of sand gets into that oyster's mouth and it annoys the heck out of that oyster. So it covers it with mucus, covers it with mucus, covers it with mucus until it has created a pearl. So a pearl is oyster snot, if we want to put it romantically and poetically. And so here we have something that one considers a protection from a harm becoming intrinsically valuable to us. And then we have the light within the darkness to keep us from crashing on the shores. And so we have the lighthouse and we have the pearl. And it's saying here, how do I move forward? How do I embrace what I desire? Well, I protect myself from that which has been the irritant that has tried to break me down. I shine light on the rocky coves that are going to try and drown me. I understand what I desire. The star is spirit saying, I see you. I see you when you may not even see yourself. And when I see you, I help you claim your power, your insight, your ideas. I give you what you need, not what you want. Wishes are granted, but not in the way that we cross our fingers for and say, oh, please, send tall, dark, and handsome to save me, type of thing. It's like, please, listen. Because divinity will be answering you in ways that are beyond expectation. But again, aren't what we need. No, aren't what we want. They're what we need. And it brings us then to the 9 of Wands. And it brings us to standing in our power, but also having to call upon that Aries energy right here, excuse me, when it comes to standing up against other people's negativity, other people's anger, other people's ways of doing things, and saying, but this is me. This is what I need. This is what I want. This is what I desire. This is where I stand. This is my stubbornness. This is my tenacity. This is my moving forward. And it brings us then to the moon. It brings us to looking at fears and doubts and hardships and pains and saying, I see you. I see you for what you are. I see the shadows for what they are. And I am not going to be cast down by the shadows, but I'm going to see the trees. I'm going to see what lays behind. I'm also going to see the beauty within the quiet of the night. So often we have such a hard time when the world slows down to slow down with it, to embrace our own inner self. We have the stars and the moon coming up. Spirit is telling us that in the waking world, nighttime is going to be inspirational for us, but it's also going to be a time where we can overthink, overanalyze, and let everybody else's opinions become more powerful than our own. The moon is saying here, face the fears. Understand your fears. Because when we embark on a spiritual awakening, when we embark on enhancing our intuitive power, what we have is we have Spirit showing us, holding a mirror up and saying, this is what is. Can you bear to see it? This is what is within your soul. This is what is within the people around you. Can you bear to see it? And what's going to be very powerful is when we say yes. Because sometimes we're going to say, no, I need this to slow down. I don't want to work with that person, or I can't understand that idea, or whatever it may be. But we have to listen to ourselves through this journey. It brings us to our subconscious energy to be mindful of, and it's the Death card, Scorpio energy. But it's the people who hold the secrets. And again, the people who hold the secrets, we're going to be very, very guided to, because, well, maybe not guided to, but we're going to be drawn to them, because we're going to think, you hold the secrets, you must hold answers. These people might hold answers that are right for them. Do not think that every person who walks or says they walk a path of enlightenment is actually walking a path of enlightenment. It is time to look at the secrets, what is hidden away, and not be cast down by the angry, negative vibrations, parts of this earth that we think, well, if I just figure this out, I'll figure out everything. Some things aren't meant to be looked at. And some people aren't meant to be understood. It moves us to our subconscious chakra message, which is truth, the throat chakra. This is going to be a time where we find our balance through our truth, through our greater understanding of ourselves, through a sense of speaking the truth and saying, you know what, maybe I don't like XYZ. Maybe we've always eaten our eggs, a very certain way, the way our partner likes them, or the way that just seems easier for whomever to cook or for us to cook. And then we say, I don't like it that way. I like it like this. And then we start to bring joy to our food because it's like, well, I like it like this, I'm going to embrace it like this. And it moves us not only to our food, but to what nourishes us. That's what Spirit is saying. Bringing joy to what nourishes us by stating the truth, by not being overly polite, by not saying, oh, I don't want to be an inconvenience. But it's also not being, a jerk to people. It's finding that balance. It moves us then to our subconscious rooted energy, which is strength. This is us, Leo. We're represented by strength in the major arcana, by the wands in the minor arcana. And so when we embrace strength, we embrace ourselves. We embrace what we desire. We embrace what we want, need, and long for as we move forward. This strength isn't going to be the muscle builder, strength that we think of, the multi-million dollars that we think of, or billions or trillions, however it is that we want to count it. This is going to be strength through competence and confidence. This is going to be strength through connection, through understanding, through being the guardian of the forest and, the leper coming up and seeing you as somebody who respects, who loves, who sees what others do not understand. It leads us to our subconscious inner self, which is the Five of Water. And I always find this card so terribly sad because you have the polar bears up here doing great, and then you have the polar bears not doing great at all. Now, this is sad in a way that it could be the extinction. There we go, extinction. I hope I'm saying that right, of a species. But they've also found that there is evidence of polar bears and grizzly bears meeting together, which can be the start of a whole new species, because just as polar bears started by grizzly bears that were trapped out on the ice and had to adapt, this can be the start of a new species. So it can be that we have a tendency to look at the darkest point of things and the most hurtful, harmful, devastating, cause of events. Subconsciously, within our inner selves, it's like, okay, but we have to look at things and say, there's a different route forward that we might not be seeing, that we might not understand. But we can't always go to that which is the most devastating for our hearts. It's like change your mind and change your life. It starts to change the world. It brings us then to our subconscious emotional self, which is judgment. And what that is saying is that as we step away from what everybody else wants, as we step into the fierceness of ourselves, we rise out of the coffin of other people's expectations. We rise out of the darkness of the world, and we rise into our voice, our power, under our understanding, and ourselves. It moves us then to our subconscious public arena, and that is the Chariot. This is Cancer energy. This is also a sense of I am moving forward with ferocity, intensity, and focus. Nothing and no one will stop me, and there's a fierceness to me that people tend to overlook. Not anymore here, Leo. There's a fierceness to your heart that you need to embrace. Not to be the killer whale, not to be, kind of like the bully on the playground when you want to be. But what it is saying is to be that force in the water that has intense presence and intense power. So when we are embracing our emotions, we embrace the intensity of them, and we see ourselves more openly and honestly than ever before. And we also know the power of our hearts, more so than we thought we did. All right, Leo, I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the stepping into our power and being the guardian of this world. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Leo.